Living lovely, just love.
Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to our channel. So if you guys saw the heading, you know what we're doing today. So this is my labor and delivery story. So we're gonna get right into it. Don't want the intro to be too long, so here we go. August 12th was Caden's due date. He was born 10 days after his due date, so he's born actually on the 20th, but his due date was the 12th. Okay, so getting right into it. Basically, a week before it was Caden's due date, there was a lot of pressure on me to kind of give birth already, because my mom and my younger sister were planning on going out of the country. It was a random plan, completely out of the blue, but they were planning on going out of the country, so they were like kind of pushing me and rushing me to like give birth already, and Caden just wasn't coming out. He was not coming out. He was in there. The day before my due date, I had a midwife appointment. So it's a birth clinic appointment, but I had a midwife, because you can choose an OB-GYN, a midwife, or you can go with your family doctor. But I chose to go to a midwife for my delivery. So I planned on having a natural delivery, and that was the plan, and we did end up having a natural delivery, but we'll get there later. So at my midwife appointment, they did a sweep, and for those of you guys who do not know what a sweep is, it's when a midwife puts like this medicine on your cervix. They like rub it in your cervix, and that helps like dilate you. If you don't know what dilating is, it means to like open up your cervix more, so, and make like your cervix softer. So basically, once she had did that, the next day I did go to the hospital to get a check and just to hear baby's heartbeat again, just because it was my due date and my BMI was borderline, so they wanted to just be sure that everything's good. And we went there, everything was good, and it turns out I wasn't going to be induced on the 12th. So I went back home, and we were all kind of upset. I was upset because like I was so excited to meet Caden already, and so was Kyle. By the way, Kyle went with me to all of my appointments, all of like the times I went to the hospital. He was with me. Like, he was with me every single time I had to do something like medical. He was with me the whole time. So anyways, getting right into it. We were all pretty upset about it, but we were okay. They ended up calling me, telling me that I need to wait one more week, just because they want to be sure. When I found out I was pregnant, I found out really late. So we had to estimate the weeks. The weeks was like an estimation, like a guess, kind of. So we weren't too sure the exact week, but we kind of had an idea based on the development from the ultrasound. So that's how they did it for me. We waited a week, so after that, on the 18th, we went back to the hospital, and they checked me again. They did the cervix. They didn't sweep it again, but they checked my cervix. So they checked how dilated I was and how effaced I was. I am already 2 centimeters dilated. So my cervix is already open 2 centimeters, and but I'm not effaced at all. So they were saying to me, there's still quite a bit of work to do. So they put in a Cervidil. If you guys do not know what a Cervidil is, unless I know only the mothers do, but Cervidil is kind of, it looks like a tampon that's flat, kind of like cardboard, and it has medicine in that part, and then there's a string connected to it. They put the cardboard part in your cervix, and then the string part kind of hangs out, kind of like a tampon does. And it's designed to help soften your cervix, basically, and dilate you. So I had that in my cervix, and before I went home, they gave me morphine because I I didn't feel any contractions at all when I was at home after the sweep, but after the Cervidil, within 20-30 minutes, I started to feel a little bit of pain and a lot of pressure. The pain was like, it was like I felt it, I knew it was there, but it wasn't something like uncontrollable. It wasn't something like I couldn't stand. Yeah, so they ended up giving me morphine so that when I went home I could sleep properly, and then even if the contractions were really strong, I'd be able to sleep and allow myself to dilate. So they gave me morphine, sent me home, and I had a pretty good rest that night. Although, I mean, I did feel more the pressure than the pain. I could still feel pressure, but the morphine took away most of it. So then after that, the next morning, we were all pretty excited to, well, Kyle and I, at least, were really excited to go, like, to the hospital right away, but we couldn't go to the hospital right away because I wasn't experiencing any major, like, contractions or major symptoms, so I didn't want to go there, wait for hours, and then be sent home again. So we waited at nighttime for them to call me to go in. So that night around 7:30ish, we went back to the hospital, and they checked my cervix again, took out the Cervidil, checked my cervix, and I was only 3 centimeters dilated, so they put another Cervidil in my cervix and sent me home. Before they sent me home, I had to wait like an hour or so, and I was feeling pain, but again, it wasn't like excruciatingly painful. It was like, it was kind of just like a mild period cramp, just like not even a mild one, like you kind of like the beginning of your period cramps, I guess. Yeah, it was not like painful. It wasn't like, I noticed it was there, but it wasn't painful. But the pressure, there was a lot of pressure. So after they sent me home, same thing, we went back to sleep and then waited till the next morning. But I didn't go to the hospital right away in the morning. My water didn't break or anything, which we were hoping that would happen. So what Kyle and I did was we went walking around. We walked like twice that day. We walked around twice that day. We danced in my room. We were jumping up and down, like bouncing on the staircase. Like when you go down, we were kind of like bouncing. I was doing squats, doing lunges, doing anything that I could to break my water. Like at this point, I was like, I do not want to like get a C-section, so I wanted him to like come out. I was doing everything I could to break my water, but it was just not happening. It was not breaking at all. And about like 1 o'clock, I felt this really sticky substance like down there, and I didn't know what it was. So I was kind of freaking out a little bit, but then I went to go check it out, and I already had my mucus plug fall out previously from when I fell, walking home from school one day, but like I had another one and it came out, and that was really weird. So I called the triage and I was like, hey, you know, I had my mucus plug come out already. I'm wondering what the sticky stuff is. And that's when they had told me over the phone, well, if it's still early in pregnancy, your body can actually regenerate another one. And anyways, so that came out, and I'll explain what the mucus plug is. The mucus plug is like, your water is like here, and then you have like your cervix and stuff, and the mucus plug sits like in between it and holds it. Oh, bless you. Bless you. Okay, and it kind of holds it together and kind of keeps like, the mucus plug keeps like the water sac protected, basically. That's normal to, like, it's normal for that to come out, for those of you guys who don't know. That's a normal thing to happen. And then it also came out with the Cervidil medicine, and at that point we were just like, oh hey, do I have to put this back in or not? So they said, no, I don't. But then we continued to walk around, exercise, like dance, do whatever we can to just, you know, break my water. At that point, there was nothing really protecting my water sac, so we're just like, okay, let's try it again. So we did it again, nothing happened. We went to the hospital. We were just like waiting there, and then they called us, and finally, like, we waited there for like an hour and a half, maybe even longer than that. But then they finally called us, and we went in the room, did our regular thing, urine check, everything like that. And they checked my cervix. The nurse looks at me, and she's just like, "You're 6 centimeters dilated." And I was like, "What? I'm 6 centimeters dilated?" And she's like, "Yeah, you're 6 centimeters dilated, but we're not sure because you don't look like you're in any pain right now." So she called another nurse to come check me. So I had another nurse's hands up in my cervix, feeling how wide it was. And she said, no, it's definitely 6 to 7. And then the midwife also checked, and yeah, they all agreed that I was about 6 to 7 centimeters dilated. And at that point, they looked at the screen, and I was having big contractions already. But they were just like, why am I not feeling any of this? Like, I did not feel anything, guys. Like, until I was 8 to 9 centimeters, I did not feel a thing. And I was super shocked by it. And anyways, so they were just like, okay guys, so we're gonna get you a hospital room, so just stay here. So we stayed in the triage unit, like little curtain room for a while. And then I think maybe about half an hour after, they moved us to a room. We were so happy. Like, we were saying if we had to go home, we would be so upset. We were so happy. We finally were like, yes, he's coming, and maybe tonight he's gonna be here, or maybe tomorrow he's gonna be here. And we were just so happy that, like, we finally are going to be admitted and be in a room, because we've been driving back to the hospital and back home every day, like, for the past 3 days. So we were pretty happy about it. When they also checked, when we got admitted to the room, before we listened to the baby's like heartbeat, they broke my water. They used this, like, it looked like a really big barbecue skewer basically, and it was like, I don't know if it was wooden or plastic, but they used that to pop my water, and it was super warm and gross. But anyways, so yeah, they did that, and then right after that, before they broke my water, basically the nurse, oh yeah, I completely forgot this, the nurse, she, like, we listened to the heartbeat for like about 45 minutes, and then she was gonna check me to see if I had dilated anymore. And so she had checked me, and she said, I don't think you're 6 centimeters. And me and Kyle looked at each other, and we were so angry. At this point, Kyle was like, oh my gosh, if we get sent home, I don't know what's gonna happen, because I am so upset already if we have to go home. Like, we have been waiting for so long, and we finally got admitted and everything. And then she calls the OB-GYN and the midwife, and they both check my cervix, and they're like, no, she's 6 centimeters, she's staying here. After that, they broke my water. After that, that's when we were allowed to, like, walk around and stuff like that. When the pain did come, it hurt a lot, and it was really strong and intense pain. So, I'm really glad I did end up getting the epidural for that reason. So after I got the epidural, obviously I couldn't, like, move or anything, because I couldn't move, eat. The only thing I was able to, like, chew on was ice chips. So those, like, it wasn't too bad though. Then after that, we got a pretty good sleep that night. And the next morning, they checked my blood pressure like every 15 minutes, kept that going. I think they also did that through, not every 15 minutes, but they did wake me up a couple times in the middle of the night just to check how I was, and I think to also check my blood pressure. I'm pretty sure. This morning, It was pretty relaxed. We got to sleep in, so we woke up late, which was nice. Once again, I had the epidural, so I couldn't really do anything else, so kind of sleeping and talking to Kyle were like the only things that we really did that time. And then after that, it was time to push. 2:20, it was time to push. So we were getting ready to push. Everybody was like getting stuff ready. And then we started pushing about like 2:30ish, 2:35. And Caden was born 2:54. So it was about 20 minutes that I had pushed him out. Pushing him out, it was only me, Kyle, the midwife, and well, obviously I was there, and one nurse. And the nurse and Kyle were both holding my legs, and the midwife was like directing us on how to do it and everything. And guys, I completely, like, I was forgetting to breathe. Like, I was just so focused on pushing, I was forgetting that I had to breathe. So, like, it was really helpful that Kyle was there for me, because he was like, you need to breathe, make sure you're breathing. He just like kept telling me that. And then, you know, eventually, like, not that long after I started pushing, they were like, oh, we can see the baby's head and it's almost out and stuff like that. So, yeah, then he was born at 2:54, and as soon as he was born, they laid him on my tummy, and then they like wrapped him up in a towel, wiped him down, did his measurements and all that stuff. They gave him the vitamin K shot and the gel in the eyes, all that stuff, and he was a natural delivery, which is what I've wanted. So that was awesome, and no complications. Well, my pregnancy had no complications either, so that's what the midwife had said, that is a good thing. It made the delivery pretty simple. And yeah, and you know, that moment is a moment that I will always remember. I will never forget that moment. You know, his first, like, seeing him for the first time, hearing his cry for the first time, those are things that I always replay in my head, and I always will. So I'm truly blessed that I had Kyle there to support me and everything, just because if he wasn't there, I have no idea how I would have survived all of that. He really kept me strong through the whole thing, for sure. And I'm really, really lucky that he was there. And I was really nervous about the whole thing, but having him there and having, like, just that support really, like, allowed me to become comfortable and feel safe and feel like I can do this. Because pushing him out, at one point I was like, I'm too scared to do this. I don't know if I'm good enough. Like, I don't know if I'll be good at, like, push well enough to do it. So I'm really, like, happy he was there, because seeing him there and seeing him and, like, him telling me, oh yeah, like, breathe, or like telling me that we're gonna be okay, telling me that I can do this, that really, really helped me, because there's no way, like, no one else was doing that for me, only he was. So I'm really happy that he was there for me. Okay, so that's a wrap to the story, guys. I hope you guys liked it. Oh wait, I'm gonna cut that out. So for the video, here's a little clip of the birthing video from just after Caden was born. They did the measurements, so here's the video.
Sure. Caden?
Yeah, Caden.
So we named Caden after, well, we named Caden, I always liked the name Caden. I really liked it, but we wanted it to fit like our lifestyle, and we wanted to be unique, and so, you know, we spelt it Kaiden. So his mom is named Kate, and my mom's name is Natty. So Ka was from Kate, I is from my mom, and then Den was kind of from my name. Since Caden started with a K, the K was kind of for Kyle too. I also really like the name Caden because it meant earth and ground and battler. And for those of you guys who do not know, because I feel very connected with my indigenous background, so having his name mean earth and ground meant a lot to me. So that's why we named him. Clarkson is from my last name, Clark, and then I added son. Well, Kyle's middle name is Rayster, so I know it's not the same, but kind of get like the same vibe, I guess. I don't know. Sort of sounds the same a little bit. And then his last name is Sotana, and there's a whole different reason for that, and I'll get into that, I think, in another video, just because the reason is really long, and that's gonna be like a whole other story basically. So the reason why his name is Sotana we'll save for another video. I hope you guys liked our video, and I'll be inputting one of the pictures from right after he's born at the end of this video, so you guys can also see that. Yeah, but I hope you guys really like this video. I'm pretty excited to share this story with you guys, so I really hope you guys like this video, and for all of you guys who are supporting us, thank you guys so much. We really love you guys for supporting us and caring about like what videos we post and everything. Comment down below, let us know what you guys want to see next. Let us know what kind of stories you want to hear. We're pretty open to sharing any story that you guys want to hear. I guess that's it. I mean, please like, comment, share, and subscribe as always, and we'll always be making new videos, and yeah, just let us know what you guys want to see. Okay, so say bye, baby. Say bye-bye.
See you in places you would never go. Small baby for the